This is Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen this, but it's a 2D platformer. And the thing that kind of drew me to this demo is its art style. It looks like Disney Pixar kind of motion kind of capture in a claymation. It's this cross between this claymation style and this incredible CG style to it. And it starts off basically where a young boy, he comes home on his skateboard from school. His little brother's annoying him and he tells his brother, "I wish you'd go away," or something like that. And his brother gets sucked into this time-dimensional portal into a monster world. His brother then, Max, wants to jump in after his brother to save him. He goes off into this other dimension. It's all pretty straightforward, you know. What really gripped me about it and why I want to talk about it is twofold. First of all, when you get into the game, it's just a simple left to right 2D platformer. A is jump, for example, and you automatically pull yourself up onto a ledge, and it's nice and cute and it's simple. But it controls very well. The controls, they're not too floaty. It's quite a solid down to ground 2D platformer. But very shortly after, you kind of find where your brother is. There's this huge monster in the background plodding around, and he's holding your brother in his hand. And you throw a rock at the monster, who turns his attention to you. Your brother drops, he gets taken off, and then you're chased by this monster. And what follows is one of the best running away from a monster kind of 2D platformers while you are ducking under ledges and the monster's just crashing through this, bashing this mountain down to get through to you, and it's just this frenetic run. And you're going to die. There are, and fortunately when you do die, because it is quite difficult even from the beginning to actually get this pattern of movement down, swinging across vines, ducking under and crawling under ledges, jumping over platforms which are falling because they're all rickety little wooden bridges, and this monster's crashing after you. It's difficult, but it's got just the right amount of difficulty that when you reset, and it's one of those things that Darren likes, it gets reset very quickly back to a little section. So there's these little sections of closed off areas, and you finish that little running section, which was, I just thought it was amazing. I thought, oh my god, this is a game I might have to pick up. And then you eventually wind your way up this little vine-covered tree, and there's this magician at the top, a little woman. And she gives you, and this is the second part of the game, where the game completely fell down for me. She gives you a magic marker, a kind of like an ink-filled crayon, and introduces this second mechanic to the game, where you have to create platforms out of the ground and destroy them, and you have a limited amount of ink. And unfortunately, because of this, it just slows the game down to a pedestrian rate. And if anything is chasing you, it feels one of the most frustrating things because there's no pointer controls. You're doing it with the analog stick and moving the analog stick and when you're doing that, you can't run. It messed up at the end. What turned from this most beautifully looking, action-packed runner kind of 2D platformer ended up in this frustrating puzzle mechanic. So just soured it for me completely. They went for, if they stopped the demo at the end of that first section where that monster's chasing you, I would have probably bought this game and then been absolutely frustrated and off that they sold it wrong. At least I got to see the mechanic I didn't like anyway.
I don't know what's more outlandish, like Greg saying he doesn't like Shovel Knight, or you claiming that this looks like a Pixar film.
I did add the caveat with a little bit of claymation.
I mean, either's overselling how it looks big time. I played the demo too. I thought it was alright. I thought nothing really bang average, to be honest, but fair enough. So it went from a sale. So what if it was
definite no sale?
What if it was an offer?
No, I absolutely hate that platform building mechanic. It's so frustrating to use.
Fair enough.
Couldn't see, and you know, it's just that first level, and you can see, oh, that's it. That 2D running platform kind of thing, that's done. It's all that puzzle mechanic now throughout the entirety of the game. Forget it.
Fair enough. It's like when I played Hollow Knight. Just started off and I was like, oh yeah, this game's amazing, and then I died and I was like, oh. I'm going to mention Hollow Knight every single podcast from now on, I think.